Hey, it's Alyssa Bryan with Virtual Heights Accounting. We're going to do a quick video just showing you how to reconcile your bank account in Xero. So we're going to assume you've already connected your bank account. If you have already connected it, or if you haven't already connected it, you would go to accounting, bank accounts, and then add your account there. And connect it to your online banking, pull in the transactions since it was opened. If you are adding a new bank account and you've been operating for a while, maybe you're converting from another system at a point in time, you will have to make sure your conversion balance agrees to your bank statement balance, and we'll hopefully cover that in another video at some point. All right, but this is just all about reconciling. So you have all your transactions here. We're going to make sure you're going to make sure that your bank statement is matching to your bank statement line that's actually on your online banking or on your actual statement PDF or printout or whatever you got, paper copy. All right, so then we're going to check. Now the job with reconciling is making your statement match what is in Xero. Okay, so as you can see, this is a account transaction. We've received $6,187.50 to our bank. It's matching with an invoice. That's great. That is an invoice that received payment. So we're just going to click OK for that. This was a really old invoice. They weren't sure how to code it because it wasn't coming up when we typed up city. It wasn't there. It was an old invoice. Someone made a note for me. We'd already maybe written it off because it was so old that we didn't think they were going to pay, but then they did. So what should we do? Well, we can just code it as it would have been. In this case, if you had written it off, my recommendation would be to code it as a bad debt recovery. Okay, so we would do that. But let's say in this case, it wasn't a bad debt. We just written it off to revenue or something like that. We can just add it back into revenue. We don't have a bad debt account in this Xero account set up right now, so I'm not going to go and add it, but we'll set it up like this. Make sure that it has the correct GST on sales or PST, whatever tax code, depending on your location in Canada, what you're selling, and click OK. Okay, so this one is trucks and property management services. It's, your rent charge. You added a bill and it's matching to that bill. So all we're going to do is press OK. So as you can see, the green is things that have already been created. Now we're matching to. These are items that are either sitting as bills or accounts receivable or spend or receive monies that we've already added. And now they're just trying to match to these transactions that are already sitting on the account. Okay. This is a deposit that was received for a client. So it's not revenue yet because it's going to be we haven't invoiced them, but maybe they prepaid. We're going to do a prepayment, and which creates its own invoice, but it is a prepayment. Pre-deposit retainer, let's say. And maybe we're going to put that to the... see if we have a deposit account set up in here. We do not. You know what? I'm going to add a new account just to make sure it's set up properly. We are going to owe this person back the money, right? So it's a non-current it's a current liability, and it's going to be deposits. You could also call it unearned revenue. Oh, sorry, it's going to code is 2200 and deposit unearned revenue. Right. And we're not going to tax it at this point because we'll tax it when we do the actual invoice. So set it as a prepayment. If you had selected overpayment, it would have just coded as a credit to the accounts receivable. Okay, so we can click save and reconcile. So that's how it works. You'll also see that there is a rule coming up here. It's detecting we set up this rule before. Hey, we set up this rule. You can say view details. The rule was set up so that it always applied 7-Eleven to office expenses at this tax rate. If that's still accurate, you can just click save transaction, click reconcile, click OK, and that is it. And I want to show you how to do a rule. You can also you can use under options, you create the bank rule. And for Cooper Street, I'll show you that maybe we want to, it's just taking a minute, any conditions match, we're going to say it equals to Cooper Street. I don't want that one. And then actually I'm going to change this to just contains Cooper Street, just so I'm not being too limiting. We're going to create Cooper Street Bakery as a contact because we know they're right around the corner. They have the best buns in town, something like that. We know they were going to go there lots. Meal expense, I don't know. We could put something like that there. Code it to meals and entertainment. And maybe we're not going to code any tax on that one. And just in Canada, we would choose this, but just so you know, I'd probably actually set up a GST on meals account, which is actually half of the GST. You're not allowed to claim the full meals and entertainment are only 50% taxable in corporate taxes in Canada. So they're also only 50% for GST or HST that you claim on them. Okay, but let's choose that one just because we don't have a meals tax code set up. And so we'll do that. And this rule is for this. And I think that looks good. So allocate line items. Oh, actually, sorry, I meant to do it down here. And we're going to have that. All right, I'm going to delete that one and just have it there. If you do have fixed amounts, something the same amounts going out each month, I recommend you use the top one. For something like meals expenses, because we know it might change by a bit depending on what donut you get, whatever. We would use the bottom one, so we can click save. All right, and now you'll see that it comes up right there. So we can click OK. We could create more rules. You know, this is a bank fee. You'll see that this one came up in black. Black means that Xero doesn't have a rule for it, but it's coded those items before it was something similar, and this is what you coded to, so it's going to suggest it again. So be careful with this. It can look like you put it in, but really it's just Xero trying to help you out, so you always got to be a little more cautious with that. If it confuses you can tell it to not suggest previous entries by unclicking right there, and then that black is going to disappear. However, as long as you're cautious, you can have that. And then, yes, this is actually a bank fee. So I'm going to click OK. This was a payment. You know, this was a deposit. This is Cooper's. As you can see, we can kind of go through coding things quite quickly that way, just adding the account code. Let's do one more where we just add the whole thing. Swanson Security. And security, we're gonna put in, oh, I see this in a lot of different places. Repairs and maintenance is the most common one, kind of, but sometimes we add a security account. Security, maybe system or building, something like that. Click OK. All right, so that's how you reconcile your bank account. You would keep going through till all of these were gone. And then at that point, this statement balance would equal your zero balance, other than any other outstanding items that maybe, you received an e-transfer for a payment on a sales invoice. You would record that as it's paid, but maybe it hadn't showed up yet in Xero yet because it hadn't been able to bring in that transaction yet from your bank. So there may be reasons why those don't agree, but if you're fully reconciled, then those will be in agreement typically. All right. Hopefully that helps, and have a great day. Bye for now.